Hey everybody, Scott George here again. I'm doing another personal entry in the Wolf from the Know Network. This entry is directed towards Brenda Lucki, the previous commissioner of the RCMP. Hi Brenda. I know you have no reason to like me, right? But the reality is I never lied to you once, right? And had the police not done what they did and how they did that, I would never have acted the way that I did or had to act the way that I did. You know very well we could have ended this a long time ago. We could have ended this properly. But you didn't want to. Right? You know what these people were doing. You watched them do it. Right? But better me than them, right? Better me than the right kind of white. Everybody knows it. You know it. Right? And then you got these racism issues and you come out and tell everybody that they're too stupid to know what's going on and it's just systemic bias. Brenda, there's just one simple question I can ask you. Okay, Brenda. Let's say it is now systemic bias. Quite clearly there was severe systemic racism in Canada. Right? And now you want to call it bias. Okay. Well, what year did it become bias? You're not going to be able to answer that. None of those officers are going to be able to answer that. And that's not a white thing, a black thing, or a native thing, or indigenous. The reality is that hate will always exist in the hearts of humans. Unfortunately, it's a part of all of us. We have the capacity for amazing good, for compassion and love, but we all have the capacity for hate to do some horrible things. And I'm sure as a police officer you've seen that. You've seen people that you know or not. Bad people do some horrible things. And sometimes people who you think are bad people probably have done things that were really good and probably surprised you. Right? Hate, racism, degradation. Those things are not for one color, right? And we all know that black people can be racist, Asian people can be racist, and native people can be racist. Indigenous, however you want to refer to that. I'm not trying to be ignorant in those topics. Right, we know that to be true. And we know that, based on studies, like the Stanford Prison study, or say like the studies done by Jane Elliott, that it doesn't matter about your race or this or that. If you tell one group of people they are simply better because they will do horrible things. And then we can say, then what happens when you tell the police that they're just better? Well, look at the abuses you've committed against me because that same premise. It's what happens when you just tell people they are superior and allow those kinds of violence and those type of degradation of human dignity to occur. And look what happened towards me. You know very well you would not trust those officers who stalked me. You won't trust that officer who stalked me to my sister's driveway. You would never trust Jessica from RCMP Sheet Harbor. You would never trust Jonathan Jeffries, and you wouldn't trust Dan Kinsella. And if you say that you would, it's only because you're the right kind of white. You know they're lying. You know they're cheating, and you know they're stealing. You're a cop, you know that. You know that, yeah, for everything that you might have a problem with me, and I've got my problems, that's not me. And here's the reality. When I spoke to Jessica in RCMP in Sheet Harbor, I told her this too, and this is consistent. Had you dealt with this, I would have supported you because I know the reality is that there are so many men that were willing and ready to jump you that you almost never stood a chance. And I wasn't going to support you just because you supported me. It's because, the only way that you're going to have reconciliation is if you admit to what it is. And I know that's difficult for you to have that conversation because the minute you say that the police are racist, then that 10% of the hate in the police, which is the dominant 10%, that ruins it for everybody else, it's going to come for you, and you know that. Look how it came for me. Look at Jonathan Jeffries. He's a perfect example, and he's black or whatever, but that makes the example so much better. Right? So there was so much that we could have done, and there were so many ways that you could have resolved this, but it was based on money and you not wanting to face these right kinds of white over and over and over and over and over again. You made those choices. I didn't make them for you. I played it with you as a human being, and all that I asked you for was a fair fighting chance, and you did not give it to me. You just gave these billionaires and these right kinds of white more and more and more and more because you get something out of it. I am sorry to hear about your husband and everything, and good luck in life.